the place where I want us to begin is going to be down in Elizabeth City, y'all. And it's so eerily reminiscent of what happened with George Floyd, except for the fact that these folks in North Carolina are still very much in the streets, despite the fact that the district attorney announced that there would be no charges filed against the sheriff's deputies who shot and killed Andrew Brown Jr. while he was in his car, in his driveway. Doctored, edited. Well, let me not say it was doctored. Well, I guess edited is doctored, right? Yes. Doctored, edited footage, selected images were released by the police to fit their narrative, right? Should not shock us at all. But one thing I wanted us to bring y'all are some very, very poignant scenes from the streets, because I don't know. I don't feel as though media fully encompasses the passion, really, of what the streets bring during these types of actions and demonstrations. And mind you, all of these people in Elizabeth City would prefer that Andrew Brown be alive, right? There's no way around that. So the fact that they have been steadily marching, protesting, showing up at some elected officials' houses, right, for weeks now, just goes to show you that they are in this for the long haul. And I want us to take a look at some actions. But before we do, we're going to hear from a national voice that is North Carolina all the way. Y'all know him, Reverend Barber. Reverend Barber gave a very he had some very strong words. You know, his strength is in his subtleness, right? I mean, he's very direct, but you know what I mean? His delivery is not, fire and brimstone, but he's just giving it to you straight. Tune, if we could please, can we please take a peek at A2? I want to hear from Reverend Barber before we take a look at the protest scenes, and the protest scenes are amazing. But Reverend Barber, poignant as always. Tune, if we could please take a listen at that.
Community North Carolinians, people all over the country, we must stand strong in Elizabeth City. And we saw today what D.A. Wamba did. It is just wrong. He said in his press conference that they had to stop Andrew Brown. They could not let him go. But no gun was found. There's no officers hurt. He was shot in the back of the head. The warrant was not bring in dead or alive. It's not the way we operate in America. But then he said something worse. He said the only recourse people would have is at the ballot box next year. If you don't like what I did, don't vote for me. But that's not America either. We have a federal review. We have a Justice Department. We can have federal investigation for patterns and practice. The FBI is already there. So I'm glad that people in Elizabeth City are still marching. We're gonna still join them. Stay tuned, because we're planning something in a major way. There must be a federal investigation of this, regardless of what the FBI said. We've seen this before in North Carolina. We've seen the FBI do this before, and others do these kinds of things before. There's still been no full review of the tapes by the public, the family, and the lawyers. This DA has not been under any cross-examination. Instead, he has acted as though he is the defense lawyer for the officers rather than the lawyer for the people, the DA for the people. They had to stop him, dead or alive. Only way he can be put in check, only way there can be any recourse is at the ballot box. No, he's wrong on both points, and wrong when it comes to the law. Again, he proves himself inept, incapable, and incompetent of fully handling this. We should have had a special prosecutor. We must now have a federal review and a federal investigation. This is Bishop William Joseph Barber II, repairs of the breach, saying to you, we must stay together, because until there is full accounting and full transparency of what happened in Elizabeth City to Andrew Brown Jr.
Reverend Barber there, just giving it to you straight, man. There is no reason why these tapes have not been released. If not for the reason of the district attorney or the prosecutor trying to protect the police, which again, I can understand Reverend Barber's frustration and disgust with this, but at some point we have to address these scenarios as to be expected, right? Like when a prosecutor actually tries to go after or bring charges against a killer cop, like that's sort of like the outlier. That's unusual, right? But unfortunately, we should expect prosecutors to be incredibly hostile, reluctant, not even beyond reluctant, defiant, right? Just outright refusing to pursue justice on behalf of Black people. And I can't stop thinking about how, and I didn't want to play the prosecutors, the district attorney's press conference because it was so fucking disgusting. Like him and that twang talking about the violent felon. I was like, dog, I'm about to throw something and break my own shit because his whole tone and demeanor just really made my blood boil. But like Reverend Barber said, like the DA acts as though that they are the defense attorneys for the police, pretty much wherever you go. Tunde, if we could, y'all, I wanted to take a look at some of this protest footage because, again, North Cat, stand up, where you at? I see where you at. Y'all in Elizabeth City, turn it up, show it out. Not waiting on nobody. You feel me? I want us to take a look and let me credit all the journalists that were out there on the scene whose videos that we are about to take a look at. So Ayano Nagashi, gosh, I hope I'm saying that right. Nagashi, Nagaishi. My apologies, darling, for mispronouncing your name. I'm trying, but you shot some amazing video. The first 1, 2, 3 videos are theirs. They are the social justice watchdog reporter at the New Leader Now for USA Today. And we're also going to see footage from Joe Fisher TV from WRAL. And at the end of this segment, like montage, y'all know how we do. We're about to play all mash up different people's perspectives and different angles of the demonstrations. And this is probably over the course of a couple of days. But the last clip we're actually going to see some journalists and activists arrested last night in Elizabeth City. So Tunde, if we could rock with that whole A1 montage, y'all. Watch people show up. Watch Black people show up. Watch our allies show up out here demanding justice, demanding that you release the tape, release the whole tape, release the real tape about what happened to Andrew Brown Jr.
The whole tape. The whole tape. The real tape. The real tape. Release the tape. Release the tape. Release the tape. Release the tape. The whole tape. The real tape. Andrew Brown. Say his name. Andrew Brown. Get the knee off our necks. Get it. Shut it down. Straight up, get it. Shut it down. Get your dogs and get to sleep. Get out of your dogs and into the street. Get out of your dogs and get to sleep. Get out of your dogs and into the street. Get out of your dogs and get to sleep. Get out of your cars and into the street. It's their name. Andrew Brown. I'll see. Yeah. Yo, Pepper State never doing shit. Hey, yo, bro. Hey, how can this never doing shit, bro? I'm telling you, when niggas start knocking out, fuck out of the problem. Yo, word. Take your fucking badge off. Get the fuck out of here. If you ain't gonna do shit, get your fucking badge off. We keep on saying. We keep on saying. We keep on saying.
USA Today. USA Today. Ayano Nagaishi, Allison Cutler. We work locally for the news leader in the state of Virginia. We came out here to cover this. News reporters? Yes, all right. News reporters. We got you guys. We got you. You can say, I'm leaving. I'm going to my car. I'm leaving. Even if you're the problem. Because it's an unlawful gas.
There are police officers walking toward us. Police officers are walking toward the protesters. Not just one now. I don't know if you can see. There are second one. A second person has been arrested. A third person has been arrested over there.
You know what's amazing? I mean, not just the protest scenes alone. And I was watching some of the comments. Guy Shaw said, get them started young about the young boys taking the bullhorn and leading the chants. Absolutely. Crypticians let us know that we holding it down for North Carolina. But that last scene there, I mean, is the Department of Justice curious at all as to why police departments really seemingly across this country have no problems like detaining press and arresting press for doing their job? I mean, it's sort of like the compounding, cascading like fuckery of just not abiding by the Constitution at all, right? I mean, they violated, I'm very sure, Andrew Brown's rights, civil rights in some way. But when people come out, activists, protesters are targeted, no doubt. But why y'all targeting the press, though? Like, why are you targeting media at all, right? Another constitutional right that police don't give a shit about. And apparently, can't nobody make the police do anything. So there's that. I'm not sure what the whole outcome is going to be in this case with Andrew Brown. First of all, if we can get the tape out, like that would be a step, I suppose, in the right direction, though we already know what happened, right? And the discrepancies coming out of from the police and from the district attorney down there are versus what the family's autopsy found regarding Andrew Brown's injuries. They're already trying to obfuscate, I suppose, the facts, right? Because I'm going to believe what the family's autopsy got to say, because the state has proven itself time and time again, not only to be unreliable, but will lie deliberately in order to protect itself. And what I don't understand is, like, if you feel as though the officers were justified or the sheriff's deputies were justified, then why not release all the video, right? The cover up is what really makes people want to go set shit on fire, right? It's like, if y'all would just own up and say, yeah, we did it. I mean, that is what they said. But at the same time, they are holding back so much evidence and information and stuff that clearly will contradict their presentation of the facts. Like, that's the only reason to withhold the video, right? Because the entire video viewed in context goes 100% against what the fuck you just told everybody what happened. And I didn't pull the video that they released because, number one, it's fabricated, right? Like, it's a fabricated piece of information. I can't even call it evidence because it's some shit that they spliced together. Like, evidence is shit that is untarnished, right? Unaltered, unedited. So, you know, any funny business can be clearly at least known to whomever is watching this, right? But it's like, at least maybe release the entire video on your YouTube channel or something, right? But they're not going to do that because they know that they straight out murdered Andrew Brown. Just like that case out of Louisiana that made news this week. It was from 2 years ago. 49-year-old black man allegedly fled from the police, Louisiana state troopers. And when they caught up with him, they fucked him up. And he eventually died from his injuries. But they originally said, the Louisiana state troopers, that he died in a deadly car crash. His car hit a tree and that's what killed him. Well, that was a big lie. And all those troopers in Louisiana are still very much on the job, except for one. Actually, I think one killed himself when they heard either they was going to be fired or charged. But I don't think charges were forthcoming. But anyway, I'm so tired, y'all. Aren't you just? I'm so exhausted. Like, this does not end. What happened to Andrew Brown happened the same day that the Derek Chauvin verdict was announced. And if anybody got on television or any sort of media outlet that you heard that said, "Ooh, the Derek Chauvin conviction is a victory for justice. It's justice. It's justice." No, motherfucker, it is not justice. It is this much justice. And that's not even, right? I'm sorry. It gets me so angry. Like sometimes, y'all, like there are some stories that I will omit or I will honestly try to avoid because they make me so very emotional, like talking about them. Right. And, it's not lost on me that what happened to Andrew Brown is not being treated as sympathetically, I suppose, as George Floyd was. And perhaps it is the drug warrant that is perhaps making him less sympathetic, right? In people's opinion. Because, black people can't be committing any crimes. Like, black people have to be perfect. I mean, they got to be on the church. I mean, they can't even be perfect. I'm thinking about Botham Jean, the young man in Texas who the cop walked in his apartment, right? And they was trying to blame him somehow. But because Andrew Brown Jr. was being served a drug warrant, allegedly had drugs on him, no gun was apparently found on his person. I don't understand why that's maybe not getting the same resonance. Or maybe it's because the tape hasn't been released, right? The George Floyd tape, tragically, was independently captured by bystanders. But this encounter, the video of this encounter with Andrew Brown Jr. exclusively is held by the police. And they know that. They know that. The judge who gave the cops 30 days before releasing more footage, which what we got was that altered, doctored version, they knew that. So I guess they're just trying to buy time. If they don't want Elizabeth City to burn down. I'm not sure, y'all. Hold on. It's ever Big Teal. Big Teal said we will not be anyone's perfect victims. No, they think our children are guilty, right? Like Trayvon Martin didn't have a right to defend himself. Tamir Rice shouldn't have been playing with a BB gun in an open carry state. Like, where are the fathers, right? That's what these assholes are.